Welcome to Interview from Mexico. I'm Laura Carlson and I'll be your host as we look at the cutting-edge issues from the point of view of the men and women who know them best, here on Telesur. Today we're going to be talking about the growing problem of trafficking of women in Mexico. Estimates are that 3 people a day disappear in Mexico, most victims of sexual trafficking or sexual slavery, and mostly women and girls. Despite media attention to the issue, the on-the-ground response of the government has been insufficient, according to human rights organizations. To talk about this very serious crime, we're here in the offices of the Coalition Against Trafficking in Women for Latin America and the Caribbean. And we're very privileged to have with us today the director of the coalition, Teresa Ulloa. Teresa is an internationally recognized leader in the movement against trafficking. Teresa, thank you so much for being with us here on Interview from Mexico.
Thank you to you.
Teresa, I wanted to start out to see if you could give us an idea of the dimensions of this problem. How many cases are we talking about here in Mexico and in the region?
The governments don't have hard figures or reliable statistics. From what we have worked on, with the support of a demographer from the College of Mexico, we've done some projections. Because we can calculate that in Mexico and Latin America, it's largely undercover, because there's a huge number of unknown cases. This has to do with the high level of corruption or collusion that are hard to eradicate, and with the economic interests that involve political figures of the highest level or even the financial or business sector, because they make a huge profit. Also, we have a very serious problem, which is the neighborhood on the other side of the Rio Grande, which has the largest market for sex and drugs in the world, no? Sex for pay. In this measure, Mexico is like a filter, and we're a country of origin, transit, and destination. And the whole northern part, it's very hard to see how Americans cross over looking for sex, especially with girls or boys. In the zone of Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, and Ensenada, they come around this time of year, many retired men from the United States, and they rent houses near the ocean for the winter. They bring packages of used clothing, they bring a lot of toys and candy, and they use this to attract children to their rentals. This, for example, is a red flag for us. The projection that we have is more or less 500,000 victims in the entire region, in Latin America and the Caribbean. In Mexico, we still don't have reliable data. Since 2006, we implemented the Red Alert system, which has allowed us to have data, first just by publicizing it. Then later, we had to add the component of legal assistance and legal advising, later psychological attention, first for the family during the search, then to the women, and then to the emergency refuge. And we have a network of references and counter-references for shelters. We have the program of education, vocational training, and productive projects, and the transition homes that allows them to prepare to reintegrate into society. Based on this, we were able to generate a database, a system of statistical and geographically referenced information that became the first instrument with hard data on real cases. Well, we don't publish the names because we have to protect privacy. But behind each file, the authorities know there is a real case. We've been rescuing Venezuelans, Colombians, Dominicans, Argentines, and Mexicans too. Once we carried out a rescue, thanks to the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Argentina in New Delhi, of a Canadian woman and an Argentine woman.
So how exactly does this alert system work? As a mother, if my daughter's missing, I call you and the whole process begins. And about how many cases do you receive?
Yes, they call us or they send us an email. And last year we received 118 new cases, when we had been receiving an average of 50-some. And this year we have about 55 so far. But this year has been especially difficult because we've had threats from a politician of the Institutional Revolutionary Party. They've come to the office to threaten us and left messages on my cell phone with rape threats. And this means that we have to design more sophisticated ways to filter the cases that we receive. But also, there's reduced financing. I imagine they want to silence us.
A bit more about that particular case regarding the politician a little bit later. But I was wondering if you could describe some of the tendencies that you're seeing. Is there an indication that the number of cases are rising or falling? And are new forms of entrapment being employed?
I think so. There has been an increase in cases, at least in what I have the best measure for, which is Mexico. The profile generally in age, where we have the most cases, is 12 to 18 years. The method of recruitment of most of the victims is by force, followed by deceit, offering promises that are not kept,